And we are off, wrapping up what was a pretty boring Monaco Grand Prix. Got my tongue twisted there. And what will be a hopefully more exciting Baku. So, big one with Monaco for me. Pretty boring race overall. The damn gearbox. The damn gearbox. Would have been a lot more exciting weekend if that gearbox wasn't Gamma. We're talking about Charles Leclerc hits the wall with what was it, like a minute left in qual.
Mm-hmm.
Goes into the race on pole. We're thinking all night, hell yeah, can Max overtake him? Is this going to be a battle throughout the race? Nope. Charles out before the race even starts. Calls on the radio. Max just wins the thing comfortably. What can you say? Just overall, pretty boring race.
Another year without the hometown racer finishing the race in his hometown. Hopefully he gets it next year. He'll be back though.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's really nothing more to add to that. I mean, it's happy to see a mixed podium there outside of Max. It was nice seeing that happen. Stoked for Carlos and Lando. They had their little bromance moment at the end there. Nice seeing those two back together. But yeah, no, overall, definitely not the finish I was hoping for Charles, man. I'm lucky my bet pushed because that was going to really piss me off.
Yep, and then I guess Lewis kind of just struggled throughout the whole race. It looks like the same might be this week. These street tracks just don't really fit well for them. And then they had bad strategy, which is the exact opposite of what's kind of been winning them races this year, with Seb making it out before Lewis could get ahead of him coming out of the pits. So we'll see.
Yeah, Lewis was he was pretty pissed off too, man. Chewing out the entire team. I mean, it's like obviously these guys get frustrated, but it was kind of funny, seeing Lewis in a losing position like that. And he was very quick to just chew those guys out, side of Lewis that we don't get to see too often. Losing Lewis is kind of entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely saw the team struggling. That's them at their worst this year. That's 2 DNFs for Valtteri. Bad strategy on Lewis's part, and that car it's a fast car. It's not meant for low speed corners. It's not meant for low speed tracks. I think they're going to struggle in Baku. We saw it in FP1, FP2 today. Yeah, I don't know. I like that we're getting this little 2 race excitement. I mean, last race wasn't that exciting, but Mercedes not winning is pretty exciting. So I just don't want to overreact right before we get back to faster tracks, and it could definitely be 1-2 with Max in third again. Who knows?
Yeah,
I'm happy. I'm happy they got Valtteri's wheel off too. Let's shouts out to the team. Took them about 4 days to get that thing off. So nice job, guys.
Longest pit stop ever.
Literally a 4-day pit stop.
Yeah.
And our guy Daniel, you can hear it in my voice. Not good. No. Things are not good right now.
It's another one of those things where, I mean, it's hard to say if the car just isn't that good on the track when you got Lando hitting a podium. I know that race kind of anything goes. I know he didn't look too fast today in FP2. He looked pretty all right in FP1. I really think he just needs to get his confidence, and once he can just drive the car like he wants to, I think we'll see results, but I don't know if it'll be early enough in the season to have an impact on where he stands in the constructors or any of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm the same way. I don't really have much to add to that. It's just disappointing. I said it last week. If it was going to happen for Daniel, just this history at Monaco, I thought it was going to be, last weekend. But again, there's no way that we can be using the car as an excuse because Lando's pulling it off like crazy. So, I don't know. Daniel's gonna have to figure it out soon, though. Otherwise, McLaren's gonna be really bumming here because Lando's pulling his end of the bargain.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a big storyline going into this week because Ferrari looks quick. So Ferrari could really start putting some distance against McLaren here, and then even. The idea was flirting across my mind. Can we have a 3-team constructors race if Ferraris keep this up? I don't know. I think it's just a result of their car is really, really fits these tracks, but we'll see.
Could happen. I mean, listen, man, Carlos certainly showed up last week, so like, if Carlos can keep it up and Charles can keep that car on the track, then you never know. It certainly could happen. I mean, Sergio's looking fast too right now, so Red Bull might, start to really kind of pull ahead here. But I mean, yeah, right now it's kind of all up in the air, I think. It's definitely going to be an entertaining couple of weeks here moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ferrari would have to sneak in a couple wins, which would probably have to be because McLaren's out for a weekend or something with Mercedes. So we'll see. It's definitely going to be tight up the top, though. The question is, does Red Bull start to kind of pull away? I think that's kind of what this race is about. It feels like this is going to be a relatively boring race as far as podiums go. We might see some really fun midfield battles, but I think Red Bull seems to kind of be the team to beat. And then, as who've mentioned, we'll start seeing some more tracks later in the season where Mercedes is going to feel a lot better, and then things will kind of get a little bit tighter. Feels like this week we kind of know what to expect.
Maybe I'm just like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like when Mercedes is not winning, that's enough for me to be really excited. Like, I'm just like, seeing that thing switched up with Valtteri and Lewis not, anywhere close is like, that's right now enough for me, I think. I mean, it's like overall it's fun seeing these races, but like, if it's going to be very interesting here. What's making these exciting, if the race itself isn't, it's the implications of them doing so poorly and what it's opening up for the possibility of these constructors points moving forward. It's like, it's really shaking things up right now.
I love it. I love the shakeup, and I love the other teams kind of getting at it too. I mean, Pierre Gasly, I think he's going to sneaky score a lot of fucking points this season. I think Tori's going to be maybe even the 5th constructor this year, which would be insane. I like what's going on this year. I like a full calendar. We became fans at a good time, but a bad time to watch it live. So we're getting a great first, like, real year. I'm very excited.
Me too.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think hopefully it comes down to like the last 5 races. I think, Chip, we go to the 6th, the last race. So it hopefully things are still really tight towards the end and we get this fight. And the last thing I would want is, I mean, this would be good, but for Max to really pull away. So it's like not exciting at all, which I don't think is going to happen, but who knows, like with Mercedes in this tire situation, they just haven't been able to figure it out all year. They've only won, I feel like, purely off strategy. It does look like Red Bull legitimately has the better car. And, Mercedes has been able to squeeze out some wins because they have this insane team with, these brilliant marks. But I don't know, man. It seems like Red Bull might actually be able to create some serious distance, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, the field's shook right now, man.
All right.
This whole thing is just shook.
Let's get on the fun part. May not bet this race. I don't know. It seems like things are just going to be kind of locked in, but you might get a funky podium, which would be fun. I don't know if I'm going to bet the winner, but I definitely might bet podium and top 6 because, like you said, things are kind of shaked up right now, so you might get some fun stuff. But let's go with race winner. I think we might have the same person in mind here because we all just want him to win. I'm going to go Sergio before someone else can. Yep. Sergio, baby. It's
as the Sergio guy, I'm going to also pick Sergio. I'm not going to try and do some differentiating here. I'm picking Sergio too because I think he's finally getting that confidence he needs, and he's a vet, man. He is so fast on race days on Sundays. He'll find the pace, and I think it could be an exciting Sergio win. And I don't even think Max would be that pissed about it because Red Bull would be wicked ahead in the constructor, and it doesn't affect Max up top because Sergio's not even top 4 right now.
Yeah, I was just going to think when we picked them, like, could we see them go back and forth? But I don't think Max would even try to overtake him. Like, I think if it came down to it, he would
defend.
let Sergio have it. Yeah, he would let Sergio have it, and just it's good for the team. And Max is still going to be comfortably in the lead because Lewis might be back in like 5th or 6th again.
Yeah, so. Even if Lewis quals at like 7th or 6th again, if you could defend him, keep him back there, keep him out of the top 3, top 4, and Max is in the 1 or 2 place, that's crazy points for Red Bull.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go with Max. I'm definitely thinking you guys are right there though with that. I mean, like I had Sergio top 3. I actually had him this week going 1st and 2nd with Max. So like, I think again, it's a big time qualifier matters with these street tracks. I mean, obviously there's a little more overtaking opportunities, this week than last week in Monaco, but still, qualifier matters a ton. And dude, I mean, they are ripping right now. So I don't see any reason unless, again, like I said last week with Sergio just being able to keep this thing on the rails, as long as he can do that. I don't see any reason why it couldn't be either one of those two winning this whole thing. So that'd be sick.
Gotta look too. One of Sergio's few podiums he's scored in his career. There's less than 10. I know that. Baku's one of them.
Very good point.
Yeah,
that's good swap. For the podium this week, I think we're going to see the 2 Red Bulls for sure. And then I'm going to throw in Charles. I think he's due. He had that tough break last week. I do think that the 2 Ferraris are probably the closest in terms of times every week. I don't know if that's a fact, but I'm just assuming that him and Charles seem to be just within, 0.01 seconds of each other pretty much every single time they go out there. So I think they'll be going at it, but I think Charles is going to end up being quicker between the 2 when we see him out on top this week.
Did he crash today?
He did.
Charles, and that's a corner he's crashed into before.
He loves to crash, but if
that's the one thing, man. I don't know.
That's that sound clip of him crashing a few years ago, and he just goes, "I am so stupid," and he just sits there in silence.
Dude, like shit. I don't know, man. I would go. I had Charles on there as well. I mean, Kel, your podium's exactly mine. Like, I'm definitely thinking it's either Carlos or Charles. I think I would venture to guess the Ferrari's getting on the podium this weekend. That's definitely my pick. 2 Red Bulls and then a Ferrari.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate and I'm gonna go with the orange man. I'm going with Lando. I think he is back in there, man. He is the only driver. I think I forget the statistic. I heard it earlier. But he's the only driver that's been within points every race since I think it was Monza last year or I forget the exact quote. I heard it, but I loved it. And I think he's just great. We can't say enough about the future world champ, Lando Norris. And I think there's going to be some weird shit in tomorrow's race. There's going to be some safety cars. There's going to be some DNF for mechanical failure. I think Lando will have a good Saturday and a great Sunday. So I think we'll see him on 3rd again.
Yeah, in top 6. I'm going to go crazy. Last week I got this right. I said we were going to see Seb, his swan song, his last big race. He was able to pull it off at Monaco. I think this week we are going to see the same thing, and I've already predicted this guy. It was crazy. I'm going Kimi. I'm sneaking Kimi here. We're going to get – I think my big prediction is we're going to get a big crash, but it's not going to affect the top of the board. It's going to be in the back. It's going to be caused by Mazepin and Yuki. Mazepin and Yuki are going to crash. And it's
into each other.
Yes, a big one, and it's going to screw over 5 other cars. So we're not going to have that big of a fight for like top 10. And then Kimi's going to get in there. Something's going to happen. He's going to get lucky on a restart. He's going to end up in 6th. Just watch.
Chip, who you got?
I don't know.
I'll go if you don't got anybody.
I've been thinking about this a lot. Yeah, I got one. I mean, I settled on one. I'm just before the words come out of my mouth, I just want to make sure I'm okay with it because I really dislike the guy. But I think Lance is getting up in there.
What's going out of your mouth before you even?
I don't want to say anymore. I'm just going to eat. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I just have a feeling after what happened last week, like you said, Seb got in there, and I mean, Lance has done very well in Baku before, so I don't know. We'll see.
I'm gonna go. I liked Kel's theme of grumpy old men, and this dude's a vet. I think Alonso is gonna have his coming out party. Welcome back to F1. He's gonna have a nice top 6 appearance this weekend. It's a hard track. He kind of knows how to drive it pretty well. I think he was top 6 today in practice in FP2. I don't know. I don't like the guy, but I think he knows what he's doing out there. He'll get a good feel from the car. I mean, you don't win world championships and just start sucking.
Out of the old,
one thing I definitely do agree with is something, Kelly, you said. I had kind of the same feeling about the beginning of this race. I do think that we probably will see at least one safety car, probably more than one this race. And, especially after a funky Monaco, it's going to be, I think these guys, especially in the streets, are going to be sending it. So who knows, man? If it gets shaken up, this thing could go all over the place. It
doesn't feel like we've had a race where a lot of cars have crashed. Like, I don't think where it's like 6 cars are out, with like 40 laps. Like, we haven't had that. Like, we have had some races where like 10 laps in, 2 cars crashed. We've had some small stuff. We've had some restarts where the one where Lewis got lucky. But it's nothing crazy. So we're due. By the law of numbers, we're due. And Baku in the past has kind of had a little bit of chaos. So hopefully we get the same this week. I'm excited. What do we got? 9 o'clock start time over here in the States?
I haven't checked.
So,
let me look.
Early. I know ball's at 8 tomorrow, so let's get it. Let's get for a good weekend, and then we're in the dog days of summer here, but hopefully things start to heat up, and then going into kind of, we'll call it the 4th quarter of the season, we got a tight race. I'm excited. Things are looking
Red Bull, baby.
Things are looking good for F1. Let's go.
Yep.